Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at the Restrict Act. Now what this is coming under is the banning of TikTok, but it is much broader than it is meant to look like. The Restrict Act says it's coming out in order to stop TikTok from violating Americans' privacy and national security interests as the usual one. So if you see bills that are advertised in a way that is meant to protect you, you should take a closer look, and especially regarding this bill. And before I do that, I do want to mention, check out my latest blog post on how breaking crypto and encryption will not protect kids and how client-side scanning blocks creative thinking. Check that out. I also posted a petition I want to mention to everyone in case you missed it, and I also want to do a little side-by-side comparison. As everyone believes that Twitter has the farthest reach, that's not always the case, and I'm going to show you this little example. I posted about this petition to protest the big lie that destroying encryption will somehow protect kids. Well, that got 45 views on Twitter. I just want to show you how nice Mastodon is. So if you want to find people that have similar interests to you, if you take a look at Mastodon, I actually have way more shares than I even have views on Twitter. So you can see side by side, there is much broader reach on this post that I have found on Mastodon than I have on Twitter with a single like and 45 views. Now, the whole point in running this account is to help spread this information. So of course I'm always looking to get that information out there. So it does matter to me if people can see my post or not. What's the point of posting if people aren't even seeing it? And let's go ahead and first take a look at what other people are saying about this bill.
I've been reading the new Restrict Act, aka Senate Bill 686, aka the TikTok ban. And this is a lot worse than I had actually thought it was going to be. You can grab the text yourself from congress.gov, but basically, they can't allow themselves to have access to your home network. That's because this bill also covers wireless local area networks, mobile networks, satellite payloads, satellite operations and control, cable access points, wireline access points, core networking systems,
I'm going to stop it there for a moment. So we can take a look at the actual bill and we can see what it says about considerations. Now, if you read this closely, it says, in carrying out sections 3 and 4, the secretary shall prioritize the evaluation of, and when they have an evaluation, what that means is they're going to look at what they call the dangers of a particular setup. So they have all of these different things, including your wireless local area network. So if you have your own router or even your ISP router, if you're using that, that will be evaluated for the potential. And it's going to be looking at all of these things, most likely using AI in order to analyze the threat, as it's called. Let's go ahead and look at 3 and 4 to see what exactly they're talking about. So Section 3 is addressing information and communication technology products and services that pose undue risk or unacceptable risk. Now that's huge. That means they want to take a look at that long list of different parts of your network in order to see what may pose a risk. And it even talks about, people who are using it to protect themselves from this, which I should make clear. I don't use TikTok. I've never used TikTok. I have no plans to ever try TikTok. But the problem in this bill is it's very broad and it's open to changes over time, and at any point the secretary can decide on something else they want to ban because they find some kind of strange link to one of these countries in the list. And people sometimes use applications that they're not even aware of that kind of thing. They may not know about the connections to that particular country. They may just be using a social media and happen to be connected to one of these countries. Now, why does that matter? Well, let's see why it matters. Well, when you look at 20 years in prison for those people, that's pretty serious. And that's something, you really want to know what you're using. The fact that there's a 20-year prison sentence for people using things like TikTok, That's crazy. And of course, there's going to be other things, but just consider all the different things. They even talk about VPNs and how, those kind of things could be used to evade some of this. So really what it comes down to, this is the Great Firewall for the USA. That is what this bill appears to be. It appears to be an opening act for a great firewall, a way to ban and block you from different services, applications, and networks by saying it's under the guise of national security, as is the norm. Just like when you see a bill called the Patriot Act, it's not very patriotic at all. It's not even constitutional. So when you see these names, these bill names that sound wonderful, like the Patriot Act, things like that, you need to really take a closer look, because anything they have to name to sound good probably isn't that good. Let's go ahead back and hear what else he has to say.
Shortened backhaul network or edge computer platform. But whoop-de-doo, Basil, what does that mean without the gig speak? Everything. Everything coming into your house beyond the demarcation point. Everything in my house. They have access to with this law. They will also have access to any service with greater than 1 million persons, including internet hosting services, cloud-based or distributed computing and data storage, machine learning, predictive analytics and data science products and services, managed services, and content delivery service. Oh wait! Desktop applications, mobile applications, gaming applications, payment applications, web-based applications, all of these, it's covered.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this other video where they give their own reading.
How we use the internet is about to fundamentally change forever, and it's terrifying. This is Bill S686, also known as the Restrict Bill. You'll
Make sure to write your representatives if you care about this.
I encourage everyone to read it by going here and clicking the text tab, but here are the main takeaways. Foreign adversaries can change by definition, but if you are already listed, they are the...
So, pay attention to that part. The definition of what is a foreign adversary or technology that may enable activity to or application usage with a foreign adversary, and as mentioned, they are going to evaluate all of these things and even impose a 20-year penalty. Now, of course, I'm against all criminal activity. You'll never hear an answer to anything that is unethical on this channel. I cover the technology and different news stories and things that I think everyone should be aware of, but I do not support in any way I don't support even using TikTok. I'm not a fan of TikTok. I think some of these applications are just a waste of our time. I'm way too busy to be involved in any other social media platforms, so I find it a waste of my time. But it is crazy to think that there will be an imposition of 20 years in prison for using an application, a social media application, or for possibly even using a VPN to access said applications. And just so you know, 30% of the top VPNs are secretly owned by Chinese companies. I don't know how that might play into this law, but another thing that you may want to know about is the fact that this is not even applicable to the Freedom of Information Act. Inapplicability of the Freedom of Information Act. So it's being done with no real public oversight. It's basically going to be a great firewall from what I'm reading. Feel free to correct me in the comments. I'm not a lawyer. I'm reporting on this as I'm finding out, and I want to make sure everyone is informed. So if they want to contact their representative, go ahead and do that. This is, one of the times, if you're going to do it ever, do it now, because the future of the internet depends on it, and it's important to actually do something about things. Because if you're not there to speak out, to set your own narratives for what you believe in, others are going to set the narrative for you, and you're going to live under that narrative. So you may as well speak out. You have nothing to lose by speaking out and everything to gain.
People's Republic China, including Hong Kong, Special Administration Region, the Republic of Cuba, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and of course, the Russian Federation and Venezuela under the regime.
How are you supposed to know which applications are connected to what? This bill is so broad and so vague that it can be changed to criminalize people who have no idea they're doing anything wrong at all. They just happen to be using an application their friends are using, which, like I mentioned, never use TikTok, have no plans to use TikTok.
Of Nicolas Maduro Moros, I hope I pronounced that correctly, but these definitions can change at any time. The bill covers hardware technology like modems, routers, and home cameras, and virtual tech like VPNs, and basically bans them if they are manufactured by or used to contact and deal with foreign adversaries.
If any VPNs happen to be used to contact foreign adversaries, as it says, does that mean the top third of VPNs that are secretly owned by Chinese companies? Does that mean the users or the customers of those VPNs? Are they breaking criminal laws in some way? Like I mentioned, not a lawyer, not sure. Make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you think below about this. Serious problem with this bill. And of course, the White House does support this bill, very in favor of this bill. Keyword thought, to target TikTok. Very big, problematic bill. We need to speak out about this. You know, I'll try and find a petition or create one, and I'll share it in the links below. Make sure to share the video so other people are aware of this.
Speaking of VPNs, using VPNs to bypass banned apps such as TikTok is made a criminal act under this bill.
The Great Firewall.
Of 20 years and a minimum fine of $250,000 or one.
This is absolutely crazy.
You knowingly did so to access banned content. The bill gives the federal government the power to monitor any activity used by these suspected devices, virtual or otherwise. Essentially, they can monitor what you are doing at home 24/7 without even informing you. This includes things such as routers, video games.
This is just another excuse for mass surveillance.
Basically anything that uses the internet. Now, the real
But
terrifying
worse.
part of all of this, as if that all wasn't terrifying enough, is that the bill goes on to state that this will happen by the president appointing a secretary of communication. That secretary then forms a group on their own without any voter input whatsoever. This group
Undemocratic.
They don't have to disclose anything. They can ban and deem anything inappropriate or a risk to security at any moment in time. And if they do, they can go through your instant messages, your emails, texts, basically anything that uses the internet, and they can censor it. So in summary, this bill can effectively ban anything the government deems inappropriate extremely quickly without warning. The ramifications of this range from breaking up mass communication methods to even watching the cameras in your home, aka spying on you. It really is that bad.
See my previous video for that.
Please contact your reps. I have a video on my TikTok ban playlist on how to find your representatives and tell them if they vote for this, you will support their opponents in their next primary.
So I hope this was informative. Make sure to share this video. We have to get this information out there. And if you don't share the video, at least share another source for this information. I'm trying to help make people aware of these kind of things because this bill is the Great Firewall's big entrance, is what it appears to be. To sign petitions, to write your representative, let them know you want to support their opponent, especially Warner and others who are actually writing this bill. Make sure to share the video and check out the blog at buymeacoffee.com/politictech/posts. All of that, the posts, public there. You can read them. You don't have to register or anything to read them. You don't have to buy me a coffee. But if you do, of course, I greatly appreciate that. And the best way to support this is to share these posts and videos. I think you'll like my latest blog post on encryption. I break down some of the reasons behind the consequences for banning encryption, how illegitimate it is to suppose it's going to protect kids, which it will not. So make sure to share the video, guys, and follow me over at Mastodon at fostodon.com/@RTP. You can also follow me over on Twitter at TV Privacy. And I will see you in the next video, and we will talk more about how to protect your privacy.